Welcome to the Wealth Transfer with TC. Today I'm going to be discussing June 12th next week, which is on a Wednesday. And that is a very special day because we have the CPI, the inflation numbers are coming out, and also we have the Federal Reserve Board meeting. And I'm going to touch on what Europe just did concerning interest rates, which is, I think, could be a signal what's going to take place with the Federal Reserve. Now, and then I do want to touch on another subject that I'm going to get more in detail in another video, but the prophetic dealing with what has taken place basically the first 6 months of this year. Now, first, before I get started, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just sharing information, giving you my thoughts and my opinions on that information. If you guys like these videos that I make, the support links are down below in the description. Now, the first thing is, and it says here in this article, according to Reuters, that came out a couple days ago, and it says world stocks shine after cautious European Central Bank rate cut. All right, world stocks climbed and the euro rose on Thursday after the European Central Bank cut interest rates for the first time in nearly 5 years, while signaling that further moves could take a while. Okay, so they have to do this. This is an election year, not just for the President of the United States, but a lot of other countries too. And they have to make it seem like this economy is doing well. And that's why they're cutting interest rates, right? Inflation is coming down. So they want to, pretend like they want to give some relief to the average person. Now, this is important because we have coming up a Federal Reserve meeting on the 12th. We'll find out first with the inflation that comes out at 8:30 a.m., right? Or they might come out simultaneously, but we have the CPI numbers being released on June the 12th. And we have the Federal Reserve meeting that's also on the 12th. And so I believe that you might see a rate cut, and that's going to spark the markets. Also, lower inflation will spark the markets. So we could actually have like a 1-2 punch. First, the CPI comes out, and it's lower than expected, or it's just lower in general, and then the Federal Reserve says we're going to do a rate cut, right? That would be a 1-2 punch to the markets, which could help start a mini bull run, right? Which thus could actually help cause short squeeze in some of the stocks that we are looking to short squeeze, right? If you have a mixed bag, then I don't see the markets going anywhere. So next week, we need to watch what happens with GME, what's going to take place on Monday. Also Wednesday, I do expect some of the markets to sell off, to try to correct itself. But what I want to get into right now is, and this needs to be addressed because nobody's standing up and nobody's saying anything. And I'm going to address this further in another video because it has to be said. And there's a lot of people claiming to be prophets, or they're claiming to be messengers, or you have people out there that I think that are scammers or grifters, people just trying to build their YouTube channel from the wealth transfer, pretending like they're prophetic or pretending they have something to add. And for the month of January, February, March, April, and May, and I could name the bigwigs that are out there that made some prophecies that I didn't pay attention to anyway because I don't believe that they're true prophets. And some of these people, I don't believe they're true dreamers or messengers or whatever they want to call themselves without actually calling themselves a prophet. And they missed that time period. They missed January through May. And you know what they were doing, folks? And you guys need to wake up and understand that they were prophesying the news. They thought that the Bitcoin ETFs were going to take off. They thought that the signs and the moon and the stars and all that with the whole eclipse, they thought something was going to happen. And then you had the Bitcoin halving. I mean, there are prophecies for April. There were prophecies for January, February, March. These are supposed to be great months, right? April was supposed to be a big month, right? Then May. And now they are moving their goalposts to June. Do you see, folks, how this works? When it doesn't come to pass, they move the goalposts. You guys know exactly who I'm talking about. And that's why the way that I look at the wealth transfer, when there are certain instructions that we are getting in certain prophetic words, they're not coming from the big people. They're coming from the individuals. They're coming from that person who may have only had 2 or 3 dreams about different things concerning the wealth transfer. So what you're seeing here is you're seeing like these big prophets who are trying to take over the wealth transfer. They're trying to make it seem like they're the ones who are prophesying those things, when it's really the wealth transfer is made up of a lot of different small individuals. So it's not made up of these big ministries that people put up on a pedestal, and they have been wrong time after time again as far as financial prophecies, but they're also wrong in other things too, concerning politics and other events that were supposed to take place. And it's ridiculous that nobody is standing up and saying anything and allowing this to continue on. And they have been wrong over and over and over again. So once you start having major prophecies that fail, let me just give one example, like the Twitter stock. You all know who prophesied that it was going to make millionaires overnight, and it didn't happen. But yet people want to attribute as if he's prophesying all these great things about the wealth transfer when he's really not. They try to give you dates and time frames. A lot of these people that are out here are just trying to build their channel. That's why the moment they start their channel, they're asking for donations. Right? That's one thing that I have seen. When it comes to this stuff, the reason why it continues to go on is because it's those followers. And you need to read Jeremiah 27 and 28 because they are teaching rebellion when they do that. And yet now they're moving their goalposts to June. Oh, what? They're expecting rate cuts? Are they expecting the CPIs to be lower? Is that why they're saying June? Or they're giving a time frame that includes June the 12th? You got a lot of these people, they're jumping on the train too at the last second, as if they've been speaking the wealth transfer for years. And it's quite sickening. And anyone who actually protects those people and says that it's okay for them to do that, make videos saying that, God is going to judge you if you judge these people that are giving false prophecies. There's a lot of people that in the wealth transfer, from what I see, that when the time comes, they're going to find out that they were listening to the wrong person. If you can't see it now, how many false prophecies does it take before you okay, crazy, that's what's happening out there in the wealth transfer? I was criticized for sharing information about Joel. Look how many people criticized me. Even other YouTubers, they didn't criticize me publicly by name, but they criticized me. I knew exactly who they were talking about. Look what happened with those prophecies. Nothing. And a lot of people are going to find out in the end of all this, they're going to end up making some wrong decisions. And that's why I have to weed out almost everybody now. My whole position, there are people I don't believe in anymore. Everything has changed. Now, even more now, every prophecy with a grain of salt. But I always go back to the ones that I know, to the ones that I trust, who started all this to begin with, who laid the foundation for it, and then I compare those prophecies to those. And when they say something out of line, kind of like the dinar prophecy, that the West is not going to taste anything. So anyways, folks, that is all that I have for this. I thank you guys for listening. God bless. TC out.